Twitter has been an absolute gift and an incredible curse for me as an anime fan. It's a place where I've made new friends, found new interests, and seen breathtaking art. It's also the place that's probably had the biggest negative effect on my enjoyment of anime in the past year. I don't feel the need to dive deeply into it because I'm sure most of you know what I'm talking about. Anime Twitter as a whole often tries to break down and snuff out your pure enjoyment of the medium bit by bit, with never-ending "that show's mid" bait tweets and unnecessary arguments and unpopular opinions. Slowly, after seeing anger for the 3,000th time online, even if you absolutely don't agree with it, a literal straw man starts to live in your head. Even if it's not changing your mind, it's wearing you out, and for me, just usually ends in wanting to start to emotionally distance myself from a series. This happened with the 4th season of Attack on Titan and was just unbearable for a while with Demon Slayer. For those of you who've been around the channel for a while, you'll know that how I resonate with a show emotionally is generally the most important part in how much I like it. So removing the emotional investment was essentially removing a lot of the enjoyment. But the bigger concern for me was that it didn't just feel like a specific show thing, but that just watching anime as a whole was losing some of its genuine luster, as I wondered what Twitter would be mad about today or how people would react to the scene I had just watched. And due to constantly being bombarded with negativity, I started to fear that I wasn't enjoying many shows as much as I once had. That my true enjoyment of anime had faded just a little bit. And man, do you sometimes just need a Mugen Train to get it to all come rushing back. The movie is incredible. If you didn't know that already, well, I'll say it again, the movie is incredible. It's always engaging, paced well, and looks like God. You know, the movie hits when I was spoiled on it far in advance and it still got me good. All the things that were great about the highs of Season 1 are present, but just polished to another level. The voice acting is immaculate, the jokes all land, and the action is non-stop and beautiful. I really did not think it would be possible for the series to look that much better than it did by the end of Season 1, and yet, Ufotable just blew me away with probably the prettiest animated movie I have ever seen. But what impressed me the most was the story this blistering animation was telling. A lot of the strength in story here is helped by this being a continuation. There's no need to introduce the main cast to us, and we already know the rules of the world and how things work. All that explanatory time can then be given to Rengoku, to show us his motivation and background and add a little bit more meat to a character we'd only seen once previously. This works to great effect, and I think counteracts the fact audiences would have had more time with him in a traditional weekly format. The story also benefits from an arc that fits perfectly into the movie's 2-hour runtime, full of fight scenes and climactic moments, but also moments of introspection and sadness, as well as about 5 different misdirections that are all placed throughout the storyline that even had me, someone who knew the endpoint, getting baited. Honestly, my biggest non-emotional takeaway from Mugen Train was that I'm utterly in awe of Koyoharu Gotoge's writing at this point, and I really cannot wait to see what's to come, even if Twitter has more or less already told me what's to come. However, that's not important right now. What's important is that the most hyped anime movie ever not only lives up to the hype, but exceeds it, passing with flying colors. But honestly, none of that really matters to me, at least right now. It was just a nice reminder of why we watch anime, of the pure joy and exhilaration it can provide and the emotional strings it can pull. And at the end of the day, we all like the same stuff. We're all anime fans, even if some of us approach our fandom in interesting ways. I walked out of the theater not only excited for the future of Demon Slayer, but also just refreshed in my own anime mindset. Mugen Train may have made nearly $500 million. It may have stoked the Demon Slayer hype fires to another level, and it may have set up a new act in this story. But it did something even more important for me. It made me happy, and it renewed my wavering faith in anime. And for that, I'll be forever grateful.